I wanted to first kind of get your thoughts on Neil Warnock. Is he the right man for Borough in charge? How many? Do you think he's gonna? Do you think he's right for Borough? Yeah.
Well, obviously, it's a it's it's a tough one because obviously I remember he's been here nearly 12 months now because I think
Yeah.
Woodgate got sacked around like mid June. We're in mid June now, so it's probably I don't know the exact date. It'd probably be around this time last year. So we're coming up to the year anniversary of Warnock coming in charge. So that's your next edit. You've got to maybe research when he was a year since Warnock's come through the door.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's the next edit to do. But he's done really. I mean, I remember at the time I was thinking to myself, why have we appointed him? 71-year-old. It's a short-term move. I wasn't particularly keen on some of his like behaviour that I've seen like in the past because he was always the one that would moan at refs and shout at like other managers and referees, and like I always thought to myself, he doesn't seem like a very nice bloke.
Yeah.
But he helped us survive massively, and that was brilliant. Considering where we were, we looked like we were going down, but we got enough wins in the end of the season to survive, and we're very grateful for that. Following season starts, first half of the season we were excellent. I thought he got us very organised. He got Dyke still performing unbelievably, Mark Bowler performing unbelievably, Paddy McNair, Del Fry performing unbelievably. And then as like the season went on, Grant Hall, was playing exceptional as well. So a lot of players, I mean, Tav was like a different player as well. So like literally most of the players that were here last season kind of improved. I think the only players that haven't really improved under him was probably Fletcher, but he was injured a lot. Britt, and Spence and maybe Coulson, but Coulson hasn't really played so much.
Yeah.
But everyone else, in my opinion, has improved from last season. Even people like Johnny Alson and like all the players that were here last season, in my opinion, he made better. And that's a credit to his man management style. He recruited very well in January. He brought in Balassi and Cabano, Mendes Lang. Although Mendes Lang never played so much, but Balassi and Cabano made a huge impact on the pitch and off the pitch. So there's a lot of really, really positive things that he's done. So I do think he's like the right man, but I think at the same time we also have to think ahead and think how much longer is he actually going to be here? Because everyone's saying this is going to be his final season. Well, if it is his final season, then we need to have a plan for what we're going to be doing this time next year. Because there's no point in like him retiring this time next year and then appointing a new manager who then sells all the players that Warnock's bringing in and then going back from to square one. So it's like we've got to start planning. And I know a few people are saying, well, maybe give it to Ronnie Jepson and Kevin Blackwell, but they haven't got much experience like managing. Do you know what I mean? Kevin Blackwell's had a few managerial experiences that haven't really gone well. I think he had to spell it like Bury and Luton in like the lower leagues. Didn't do great. I think Sheffield United, he struggled, and Leeds. And so he hasn't really had a successful career as a manager, and Ronnie Jepson hasn't really managed either. So people say, no, just give them the job. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just because you're a good assistant doesn't mean you're going to. So I think about planning ahead and thinking, who can we get? And it's obviously, there's a lot of good managers that are available at the minute. People like Eddie Howe and Chris Wilder and people like that who, I'm not saying they're going to come to us. You know what I mean? Chris Wilder would be absolutely fantastic, but he might go to, I think West Brom might be looking to appoint him because I think Big Sam's gone. So there's a vacancy over there. And then, of course, Jokanovic has gone to Sheffield United. So there's like, and Eddie Howe's still out of employment. But just because they are out of employment in 12 months' time, they might have a job by then. So it's definitely a tricky one. But if you're going to have someone, it's got to be someone that's going to continue what we're doing, because I think the core squad, in my opinion, is a good squad. Yeah, there's one or two players that are maybe move on, but the core squad, we've got people like Mark Bowler and Dyke still, and Marcus Brown. I'm excited to see as well. I think we'll get better and better as the season goes on. But if we add a new goalkeeper, a new striker, and maybe a new winger, I think we've got a great opportunity to really get into the top six. And then I think the other signings is strength and depth, because it's like, if we get a few injuries, that's it. Do you know what I mean? So,
well, we felt that a little bit last season, didn't we? There was a couple of times where, we were missing key players when Dale was out, for example, when Tav was out. Sam Morsey missed a few games. Well, when he got injured, he was out for the rest of the season. Jake Steele was out for the rest of the season. So you've got these kind of key players that were missing at vital moments. And I spoke about in like our weekly news episode about Mpanzu, about how he could possibly replace Morsey, and we could rotate them. And like you said, just having that kind of squad depth, I think that definitely makes a difference. I mean, if in the Championship, you play a lot of games, and if you string a decent like cup run to get, you're involved in 2 cups. So if either one of them, you string a good run together, you're talking a lot of games in a short period of time. I mean, when COVID was kind of going about, and we missed certain weeks, and then you're trying to cram all them games into like such little time. Obviously, it's going to have a massive effect on these players. So having that squad depth just means it gives you the ease to kind of rotate the players without having to worry too much about the lack of quality or losing people in certain areas.
No, definitely. And also, if there's players that are, not performing on the pitch, if there's players on the bench that, they know if they're not performing on the pitch, there's players on the bench is going to come on and like take their place. So it's like you've got that like mentality of, I've got to perform, because if I don't perform, I've got so and so, to compete with me. So it's always good for squad morale and squad like motivation to have those options.